Hi guys, thanks for watching out there. Andy here with today's astrology. It's Saturday the 14th of April 2018. We have the moon in Aries as we start the day in the UK. That's been after a very long, almost 16-hour void of course period. So things ought to have been quite slow. You never know. I don't like to say it should be, ought to be really, but things have probably been quite slow for quite a long time. So let me see, that was actually last night Pacific time at 8:25 p.m, 11:25 p.m. Eastern and 4:25 a.m. here. We went into the Aries moon and this sets the scene for the new moon. Also, Mercury is retrograde in Aries and will be coming out of retrograde time in Aries as well, but that's another story. With the moon in Aries, activity goes up a bit. It's slightly less sociable, slightly less touchy-feely than under an Aquarius moon. People tend to be active and impetuous, and where like-minded people want to do that, you get people coming together and you definitely get progress. Things are more decisive. Things can happen very quickly if people are decisive, but of course you get out what you put in. I'm saying this about Aries, of course everybody has a different experience of it. All these astrological aspects and signs and symbols relate to us individually depending on our birth chart, because the heavens are changing just about every minute. So it's good to get a birth chart done. You can get them done free online very easily. It is accurate even though it's a computer doing it, because it's statistics. You know, it'll know exactly where the heavens were situated, what was going on at the time of your birth, and then things like this are bound to make a lot more sense, I would think. It's really worth doing. So end of the cycle anyway, as the moon comes into Aries. And the new moon will actually be here in UK on Monday morning at 2:57 a.m, so just after the weekend. But that is going to be 6:57 p.m. Pacific, 9:57 p.m. Eastern, so that's very much a Sunday thing. But this is a Saturday forecast. I'm simply mentioning it because as the new moon comes up, we're almost clearing the way for something good to come in, for new inspiration to come towards us, because the cycle's starting again. Just as we get into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, the cycle starts there. We're also coming into a new moon, so it really is a time of rest and relaxation if possible. That's not always easy. So with the moon only 4 or 5% full today, there isn't a great deal of cosmic impetus behind things, so it shouldn't be a bad time to have a rest, and that is really important before the next leg of the journey starts, so we can think about where we've been, think about where we're going. No one really wants to live in the past, but it's worth taking a look back, because then we can stand on the shoulders of what we ourselves did last time around, learn from our own mistakes, keep our own selves going. That's what it's all about. Now then, there are two aspects coming up today as well. 5:58 a.m. UK time, so well before I came on anyway. But let me see, that's midnight 58 Eastern and 9:58 p.m. Pacific. Last night, Jupiter in 21 degrees Scorpio sextiled Pluto in 21 degrees Capricorn. So an interesting mix of things going on there. We've got Jupiter, the ruling planet of Sagittarius, closely allied with abundance, tolerance, social insight, gathering knowledge. All those things are associated with Jupiter. It's also, of course, the ruling sign of Sagittarius, and Sagittarius energy can spring back a bit from the abundance quite often. I know that to my great cost, being a Saggy myself. So you've got that then, sextiling Pluto, the ruling planet of Scorpio, transformation, subconscious behaviours, birth, a certain amount of psychic insight going on there as well. That will all come together. So we should get some good insight into abundance. A sextile is a nice positive alignment. Okay, so then later now, 1:27 p.m. here in UK, Mars in 15 degrees Capricorn, sextiles Neptune in 15 degrees Pisces. Mars, really the planet most associated, I would say, with war and hostility, but it can also be the other side of those things. You know, love and hate happen in the same part of the brain. Why wouldn't they happen in the same part of the universe? I don't know, I wouldn't like to say, but Mars can be quite stern, and in Capricorn there's going to be a need for people to be really sure about things. Some people might get quite frustrated at having to push forward, sort of working blind, you know. Sometimes you've got to get on with your job and you just don't know everything that you need to know, but somehow you've got to go forward and do it. That's the kind of thing we're looking at. And Neptune in Pisces. Well, Neptune itself is actually the ruling planet of Pisces. All about inspiration, dreams, illusion, that psychic side of things getting involved again. So very much a day in the higher chakras in terms of those alignments, and a lot of really good inspiration, I should say, not information. Inspiration should come in, and then you'll create your own information from knowing what you're inspired to do. Is that a bit convoluted? Well, these esoteric topics are sometimes. I am sorry about that. In the biodynamic cycle, come on. Oh, the tablet is so slow. In the biodynamic cycle, under a Pisces moon, it is a leaf day. I stopped putting these in a week or so ago. I don't know why, I forget things. I've got the memory of half a tennis ball, I really have. But under a Pisces moon, a leaf day in the biodynamic cycle, that means anything to do with nature is going to be really favoured. If you're working with nature, work on something with leaves. Planting leafy plants, maybe lettuces, that kind of thing. It's not actually a bad time for that in some parts of the UK. I'm still wrapped up in my scarf here, but in the sunny southeast, no doubt people are having great fun. In spiritual terms, on a biodynamic leaf day, always revere the leaves of the tree which gives you shelter. That's a really important thing. All the lessons we learn really have something, at least, always something to do with looking after ourselves and those closest to us and those nearest to us. So anything to do with the home, or anything at all to do with what shelters us, what is part of what supports us, the platform on which we stand, those are the things to think about. That's the thing to revere. Revere is a very strong word, isn't it? But that's really where the contemplative truth of today is going to be, as far as I can see. Let's have a quick look at what's up in space on spaceweather.com. The solar wind speed is lulling down a bit. It's only about 400 kilometers a second as I speak. The density of the protons around 7 protons a cubic centimeter. Nothing really fabulous, quite thick to be honest, but we are actually exiting a solar wind stream at this time. It's been going on since April the 9th, and it was the 9th to the 11th that it was at its most active. We've just about exited that now. There could still be some activity around the poles, but it seems kind of unlikely. Maybe a 35% chance of geomagnetic activity around the poles there. There's one sunspot on the face of the sun, number 2704. It's very small. At the moment, they're saying it poses no threat for strong solar flares. They've said that before. One time last year, there was this tiny little sunspot, wasn't going to cause any trouble, wasn't going to do anything, and it swelled up to a giant size. It was big enough to sink the Earth in it twice over. That's how big it was. So I don't know, but at the moment things are nice and quiet, and as we approach solar minimum, they're getting quieter, so nothing too much to worry about then. All this geomagnetic stuff, it brings a lot of electricity in, and it can confuse the human mind, and it can confuse electronics, but it's very calm in that sense. Okay, well, thanks very much again for watching, folks. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. I'll wash my hands tomorrow because I've got coal all over them again. Oh, dear. You'd think I wouldn't be burning coal in the fire at this time of year, would you? But it's either coal or logs, and they're always filthy, so that's what I've got to do. Anyway, right, too much about me. Have a brilliant day, my friends. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care. Goodbye.